I love Lord of the Rings, which is why I hate bad Lord of the Rings. And it's pretty hard to do Lord of the Rings so wrong that even I find it bad. And yet...
This is it.
Here we are. We come to it at last. The great dumpster fire of our times. Oh, Rings of Power. This show just has no reason to be as bad as it is. So suffer through it with us, folks. Here comes the first episode, The Shadow of the Past.
I think I'm going to take this opportunity to take off and let you handle this.
No. You sit your lack of an ass down and watch this with me.
Yeah.
So, this title proves that they at least looked at the table of contents of The Lord of the Rings. Do you think they looked any further?
I'm not sure they finished the table of contents on this thing.
Is it finished yet? Even you couldn't possibly believe there was scrap would float.
Oh, Elbereth, the child actors. Oof.
You're a tyran, Spock. You could never be a true Vulcan.
That is not true. My father... Your father brought shame to Vulcan. He married a human.
Nothing is evil in the beginning.
So, as generic bully number 502 says...
I told you it wouldn't float.
But wait, if they don't know evil, why do they have weapons? Like swords and stuff, not even weapons for hunting. And there was evil in the beginning in the books, and clearly here too, because you have bullies, and you have weapons!
Even I know there was evil before the elves existed.
And we're about 3 minutes in, and I have my first really big moment with this line.
Do you know why a ship floats and a stone cannot? But the ship has a secret. Her gaze is not downward but up, fixed upon the light that guides her.
Could you mix a few more metaphors, please?
It's hard to say which way is up and which way is down. How am I to know which lights to follow?
Why does he whisper this? I mean, I know why he does it for the sake of the production. It's so this line can come back and surprise the audience later. But in universe, why is he whispering? They're the only two people around.
But you must learn to discern them for yourself. I won't always be here to speak them to you.
But if you don't yet know death or conflict, where would he go? Why wouldn't he be around forever? You're elves, that's kind of what you do, is be around forever.
You should have no concept of goodbye.
Okay, now I'm going to give you a compliment. This first shot of Tyrion upon Tuna, which yes, I know sounds like an Elvish sandwich, but that's what it's called. Absolutely gorgeous. Also, the imagery of the death of the trees and the Oath of Feanor, great! Referencing some famous Tolkien art there. I love it. Now if you could just give me more of this and less of...
Even you couldn't possibly believe there was scrap would float.
Unfortunately, Offscreen Kim, now they're going to start talking.
No.
I know, it's a downside of this show. One of many.
We left Valinor, our home, and journeyed to a distant realm. One filled with untold perils and strange creatures beyond count. A place known as Middle-earth.
Slap him silly, girls!
Whoa. Get back to that map. Where the hell is Balerion?
A place known as Middle-earth.
You know, I could just let this go as show canon is different.
No, you couldn't.
You're right, I couldn't. But later, another character will say that he was born in Balerion. So clearly it exists in the show. Where the hell is it in this map of the First Age?
Born down in a First Age town, I was born in Balerion, yeah.
Balerion is a whole continent, not a town. I hassle to. I is compelled.
Look up at the sky and float.
Okay, No. Go back to the map again. I'm sorry. This map is crooked. It's weirdly warped. Is this some kind of Middle-earth Mercator projection? Except the world is flat at this point, so they wouldn't need a Mercator projection. And no. I have to move on, or we will be here forever.
Do not tempt my addiction. I've gone through withdrawal, kid. Do not relapse. I won't. Do not let the demons win.
Oh God, please don't let us be in this episode forever.
We haven't already been? Was there a before time?
But the war left Middle-earth in ruin.
Okay, some more good. Another nice visual reference to some famous Tolkien art and the Nirnaeth Noediad. Alright, okay. And why is Galadriel still wearing the same dress she was wearing when she was like a little elf girl?
It seems like I've been wearing the same dress forever.
You know, every time I try to give this show a point, I immediately have to take one right back. Can you try a little harder, Rings of Power?
If it helps, you're taking a lot more back than you're leaving alone.
Yes I am.
Multiplying ever greater under the command of his most devoted servant, a cruel and cunning sorcerer. They called him
Kim?
My brother vowed to seek him out and destroy him. But Sauron found him first.
Okay, first off, big disrespect to the death of Finrod in the real canon right here. Second, apparently the wisest of the elves are less clever than the average Redditor, because people had this riddle figured out almost instantly. At this particular angle, it's even more obvious than usual.
To the ends of the earth we hunted Sauron. Year gave way to year.
Year gave way to year. Yeah, a good way to sum up the feeling of watching this show. Oh my God, we're not even done with the prologue. Do you remember how exciting the prologue of the Peter Jackson movies felt?
A movie unto itself.
None of that here.
And yet it's probably the best part of the show.
Oh God.
It's downhill from here, Kim.
Oh God! We're gonna die!
And for many elves, the pain of those days passed out of thought and mind.
First movie!
More and more of our kind began to believe that Sauron was but a memory.
But you're elves. You haven't had generations pass since then. Some of you are the same people who were there. You shouldn't have things pass into myth when you were there. Things from the 80s and 90s are not myth to me. I know they are to some of you brats, but not to me. Yeah, okay, we get it. You want to be Game of Thrones. You want to be Game of Thrones so bad.
Perhaps we would be wise to camp here, and tomorrow begin the journey home.
We are losing the light.
So, yeah, this Galadriel. Alright, I'm not going to hold it against her that she's not Cate Blanchett, because nobody else can be Cate Blanchett. I was okay with...
I was Cate Blanchett once briefly for a weekend, but that didn't last long.
I was okay with a different interpretation of Galadriel, including it up to Warrior Galadriel, because canon does tell us she was different in her youth. But this
is no good.
Man, this character is Captain Marvel levels of not endearing herself to us. Starting with...
Commander! Wait, no! We keep moving!
Oh yeah, leave your man to die behind in the snow. That really makes us like you. Yeesh.
Who are you?
Galadriel. Galadriel Skywalker.
Alright, speaking of dumb things with Galadriel, she just finds everything instantly in this mission, doesn't she? And here she goes, solving riddles by brute force and not cleverness or perception. Again, Warrior Galadriel is one thing. Meathead Galadriel is another.
Water.
You're welcome.
Wait a minute, how are you pouring that out? Shouldn't that be ice in this climate? And we know this is water, not alcohol or
we would have drank it all by now if there was any.
True. Here in Autumno, we put the brand on everything.
Tell the others to rest while they can. At sunrise we move on.
And of course, not only is Galadriel a badass, she's the only badass in the room. She takes down this troll solo. Teamwork? What's that?
So, are your elf guys just there to take hits for you? Is that their goal? Are they like the options in Gradius to you?
I think they're her backup dancers.
Look! I'm good, but I don't pull focus.
We should never have come in here.
We leave soon enough. The order is given. We march at first light.
Man, those Captain Marvel, Rey Skywalker vibes are getting stronger, and that's not good. So her backup dancers finally mutiny, and who can blame them at this point? And oh, sweet light of Barda, we've only just hit the title sequence. Someone help me.
We've only just begun.
Alright, okay, these guys, no. I understand why if you killed a stag or a moose, you would carry the antlers like this, because it's one of the few ways that makes sense. But they just look silly. How can you not laugh at this?
Well, you gotta pay attention when these guys come back later and what really matters in this.
How many more times are we gonna see these guys? Never! Yeah, it's Rings of Power. Don't give it any credit. And the little vermin all scuttle back out. I'm sorry. We don't have any reason to hate them yet.
Meet the Harfoots, the Chihuahuas of Middle-earth, meaning that you want to punt them whenever you can.
Travelers, at this time of year.
Okay, what is up with Sadoc's Book O prophecy? This does not exist in the true lore and is never explained in this season of the show.
In the original lore, the hobbits are about as spiritual and mystical as orcs, right? Isn't their whole thing that they live in the present and the now and they don't really think about anything deeper?
Far-off tales and children's stories, that's all that is. Well, it's none of our concern what goes on beyond our borders. Keep your nose out of trouble and no trouble will come to you.
Hobbits are all about food, beer,
work,
pipes.
It's an omen, I warrant you.
Thank you, Hobo Hobbit Dracula and your Hobo Hobbit brides. Seriously, who are these women? Is he in a throuple or what is this? And they're also thieves. Oh, nice. And yes, this is definitely a cultivated garden, not a wild berry patch. See the gate and the fence still well maintained.
So basically this is San Francisco.
I palanumen, I al fili menori, la metta avante, home.
Savor that little pinch of Cinderin. It's the last we'll get for a couple episodes. You'd think something trying to be Tolkien would understand love of language. And it's young Ned Stark as Elrond.
No. Now it ends.
One of the better members of the cast, honestly, but I just can't look at him without seeing young Ned Stark. The short hair does not help.
The council regrets to inform you, you won't be permitted to attend the next session. Elf Lords only.
You know, kind of like how we'd say human supervisors only at a work meeting. And that's leaving aside the fact that Elrond is one of the highest born people here, and if I go into normal canon, we'll never be done. Just stick with the show's own inconsistencies, there's enough. Just stick with the show's own inconsistencies, there's enough.
Remember, folks, this is Offscreen Kim holding back on the nerd lore.
You do have a point.
Your friend has arrived.
She's here. Why didn't you say so?
Okay, now this is the most fantastical thing we've seen so far. Someone who knows this Galadriel, but actually wants to see her and likes her. I call bullshit, sir. Okay, these Chirons, I get that they're necessary because of how abruptly you jump about Middle-earth.
And how identical their designs are that you can never tell one place from another.
Exactly. One of the great things about the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings is the devotion to character and culture that they gave to all of these different cities. You can at a glance tell even elven kingdoms from each other. Rivendell from Lothlorien, or Rohan from Gondor. It's easy. But in this...
It's hard to tell Mordor from the Hobbit places.
I'm going to ask this a lot of times during this review, but where did the money go? Jeff Bezos, did you really need that 15th yacht that much?
I hear it said that when you cross over, you hear a song. One whose memory we all carry.
Wait. But nobody comes back from Valinor. So how do you know what the journey there is like? You'd know what Valinor itself was like from Galadriel, but how would you know what going back west over the ocean is like? No one has done that and returned.
This mark's very existence proves Sauron escaped.
How? If I write down a thing and you find it 100 years later, does that prove I'm still alive?
People write swastikas all the time. That doesn't mean Hitler's still walking the earth.
I am not some courtier to be placated by idle flattery. I demand to speak with the king directly.
All right, start the Karen counter. Galadriel demands to speak to the king.
I am important!
Are you going to arrange an audience or not?
If after the ceremony, that is still your wish, you shall have it.
So our establishing shot to return to the Hobbit, not Hobbits, they're Hobbits. Our establishing shot to return to them is a Hobbit sharpening a knife. Not exactly a visual to celebrate innocence, is it?
Elves have forests to protect. Dwarfs their mines, mend their fields of grain. Even trees have to worry about the soil beneath their roots. But we Harfoots are free from the worries of the wide world.
And this supposedly proud Harfoot speech just emphasizes the fact that they produce nothing and live off the labor of others. What did you say earlier about San Francisco?
We're supposed to be round.
Whoa, wait. What did he just say?
We're supposed to be round.
Wheels are supposed to be Are you seriously that stupid? Ow, my brain, my soul, my everything.
These soldiers have swept across crag and crevice, washing away the last remnants of our enemy like a spring rain over the bones of a spoilt carcass.
Wait. Not only did Elrond think that carcass line was good, Gil-galad thought it was good too? He actually used it in his speech? Is he supposed to just be a completely empty figurehead? Why do they insist on disrespecting all these elder elves? Go to hell, Rings of Power. Go to Utumno and stay there.
You are such a nerd.
And speaking of nonsense from our elder elves, why does Gil-galad have the power to decide who goes to Valinor?
They will be escorted to the Grey Havens and granted passage across the sea to dwell for all eternity.
How is this his call? Okay, these fireworks are beautiful, but do they really belong in this world? I was under the impression that things like fireworks and gunpowder were a relatively third-age technology, and rare even then. Also, this grove of memory. Very nice, but the same question. Would elves really carve living trees like this? Wouldn't they find that more...
sacrilegious?
Yes.
Are you just going to stand there breathing like an orc?
Damn it, Galadriel, why do you always have to lead with an insult?
It is over. The evil is gone.
Then why is it not gone from in here?
Do you really want me to answer that question? Because I can, but you won't like it.
Morford, stick to the script. Stop reviewing the episode. The entire internet's going to do that soon enough.
I am grateful you have not known evil as I have.
The hell he hasn't! It's a dumb response to begin with, and it's not even true! Not even by your show lore!
I have seen my share.
Yeah, Elrond is very right here. And actually, for once, decently written.
Evil does not sleep, Elrond. It waits. And in the moment of our complacency, it blinds us.
And the bad writer just came back from his coffee break. Look, we need to talk about the dialogue in this show, because it's abysmal. And there's no reason for it. The dialogue in both the book and the Peter Jackson movies is so rich and quotable.
Even the stuff that's not from Tolkien in the Peter Jackson movies.
Exactly. But this is just... It's like you told an AI to be profound and mystical.
If but a whisper of a rumor of the threat you perceive proves true, I will not rest until it is put right.
Okay, and here we go with another round of new characters. And the first thing Arondir does is...
Karaya's in 3 moves.
Ha! Be a dick. Yep, I get the feeling we're gonna really love these ones too. Alright, whoa, what's with these bizarro horn hats in the tavern here? Is this some kind of sports ball thing, or...
Go Packers!
And even dumber than the hats that look like they should be worn by a modern sports fan...
Packers, woo!
...is the talk of clearly modern politics.
The lot you lump us in with died off 1,000 years ago. When are you people gonna let the past go?
Get this crap out of my Tolkien. No one wants this here except the lecturing writers. People are here for their escapist fantasy adventure.
But it's got to reflect the modern world. Modern world. Reflect.
One day, our true king will return and pry us right out from under your pointy boots.
Wait a minute. Do these elves even have pointy boots? They look like perfectly normal soft-toed shoes to me.
Will Ferrell made a better Tolkienian elf than you.
I know you're trying to riff on the Aragorn and Arwen thing again, but I am getting less Liv and Vigo vibes from these two than Edward and Bella. Why do these two like each other? Is it because she's the one clean person in this filthy town?
I love how the smell of your ass is slightly obscured to me.
Are there healers among your kind?
There are. But we call them artificers. Most wounds to our bodies heal of their own accord, so it is their labor instead to render hidden truths as works of beauty.
No elven healers? Only artificers who fix your soul with beauty? What? That can't have even made sense in your head, writer!
And I hope you find Alfrin flowers beautiful.
No, stop snorting that cocaine and get back in there and do your work again. No.
Alright guys, stop running a magnet over the AI. It's trying to write our script. A ship looks up at the sky while a rock does not. Error, I could do better than this.
So, Arondir's partner here has no arrows in his quiver and no blade on his belt. So if they run into trouble, what is he going to do?
Slap him silly!
Okay, here's your one compliment every 5 minutes. I kind of like the design of the Elven Tower ladder. This organic architecture, thumbs up there.
Everybody gets one.
79 years I've been stationed here. Suppose I've grown accustomed to it.
And again, for once you're appreciating that the elves, being long-lived, have a different perspective on history. But it would have been more effective to actually see Arondir being here for 79 years, even if via a quick montage, than to just be told it. We'll get into this more later, but this show has really kneecapped itself by restricting its timeline to such a short one.
This will be Matt's corner down the road, because this is my pet peeve of this show. But we'll wait till we get down to some real egregious examples.
Be quick about it. He finds us in here, he'll knock our teeth out.
And yet again, in Autumno, we put the brand on everything. Also, this is the symbol that Galadriel has found exactly 2 of in multiple centuries. Yet here it is in a barely concealed cabinet under a barn. And don't tell me this is too far away for Galadriel to have been searching, because clearly there is elven influence here, elven influence connected to High King Gil-galad. So you'd think they'd be turning in all their finds up the chain to him.
Galadriel was so certain her search should continue.
If it had, she might have inadvertently kept alive the very evil she sought to defeat.
For the same wind that seeks to blow out a fire may also cause its spread.
So wait. Gil-galad thinks Sauron is out there, but that it's best to not find him.
Nope. Stopping Sauron's plans would only play into his plans.
Wait, what? He thinks it's better to just shut up and not draw attention to a real problem that he really thinks is really out there.
Modern world, it's reflecting the modern world. Sauron is global warming.
Well, he does have volcanoes full of ashes. No. Do not credit their stupid analogies.
Are you acquainted with the work of Lord Celebrimbor?
The greatest of elven smiths, of course. I've admired his artistry since I was a child.
And here we go with the as you know dialogue again about Celebrimbor. I'm sorry, but I really hate the casting on Celebrimbor.
I will counter with, while he does not look the part of what Celebrimbor should, since Celebrimbor is basically the Tony Stark of Middle-earth, and he's like the young hotness, full of himself, but really brilliant. But I will say, this guy's not a good Celebrimbor, but he's a good presence, and he plays a good mentor. He just doesn't have the right look, but he has the right presence. And much like how Sean Bean wasn't nearly as big as Boromir should have been, but he played the part so well, I can overlook it when the character's playing the part right.
I will argue back two things. You can, if you want to, I suppose, since this show doesn't give two craps about canon, make Celebrimbor into a mentor character, but he shouldn't be at this point in the story.
That's true. He was trying to build a name for himself at the time, wasn't he?
If you are going to cast Celebrimbor this old, how are you getting away with such a young Galadriel, who should be a generation older than him? An elvish generation older.
Because she's got to be the young hotness. Because what fictional race is better for the idea that youth is where it's all at than the Tolkienian elves? I love that we're still finding new flaws even as we record this. Some of these things, folks, we're coming up with on the spot. They're not all scripted.
Okay, these transition shots from the map are decent, and it does harken back to the pointer scenes in many other movies. That's good, but could we go somewhere better with them?
No, we're stuck in Amazon's Middle-earth.
No. So these veiled attendants on the ship, how are they so good at what they're doing to the point of being synchronized disrobers if they cannot possibly have done this before? Again, remember, no one comes back from Valinor. This has to be the first time they have done this ritual in anything but practice.
The only argument I can make that even makes sense is still sad, because it says these people have been practicing this ritual for who knows how long until they have it down so perfectly they can synchronize it on the first try, and their lives have been nothing but training for this moment. You've been spending how many years of your life training for when you get to leave? Even when you give it the benefit of the doubt, it still portrays a very sad, sad culture, which the elves are not supposed to be. Certainly not in the Second Age, when this is supposed to be them rising to the zenith of their achievements.
And I thought my job was futile and pointless. And Galadriel flashes back to the dumbest line of the episode. I know it's a hard contest, but...
Do you know why a ship floats and a stone cannot?
And yet, we're going to get a line that's even dumber when you think about it right now.
Sometimes we cannot know until we have touched the darkness.
If you can't quite catch that, let's translate. You can't understand evil until you've played with it a little bit, so go ahead and fiddle with the shadow. Lady of Light?
What a disgustingly anti-Tolkien message.
Yes.
This is the same man who wrote that it is perilous to study the arts of the enemy for too long, whether for good or for ill. This is a man who understood that you cannot muck about with evil things, even if you're trying to do good with them. This is the man who told you you can't give the ring to Gandalf or to Galadriel or to Aragorn, because inevitably they would just become a new Dark Lord. He is not someone who would approve of...
Sometimes we cannot know until we have touched the darkness.
And if you're not sure, this was the downfall of Saruman, the greatest of the wizards.
Go to hell, show writers. Go directly to Autumno. Do not pass go. Do not collect 200 Castar.
God, you're a dork. I love you.
A brief entities here that will come to nothing this season. And watery suicide.
He's leaving! Our long national nightmare is over!
And to close out our episode, we have Gil-galad staring at a gross leaf. And one more. Shocker. A flaming naked dude. Make your own flaming Ian McKellen joke. We all know you want to. Yeah, based as loosely as legally possible on the works of Tolkien. Get out.
And that was Season 1 of Rings of Power.
No, not Season 1, Episode 1.
How many episodes are there?
8.
Alright, well, I am out. I see you later. Goodbye.
No, don't leave me here with this crap! Well, even if he's gone, you're still here to suffer with me, viewers, right? Right?